We are here on this earth for one purpose, and that is to love one another without exception. We're going to find the person who did this terrible thing. We're going to put him on trial, we're going to convict him, we're going to put him on death row, and then we're going to execute him. And when he is executed, you'll be okay again. And no one ever told me that there was another way to think or be or feel. No one ever suggested another way to solve this problem.
The lesson that my life has taught me about capital punishment is that if you give the government the power of life and death over you, sooner or later, the government will abuse that power and exercise it and kill innocent people. We don't want, and we can't afford to have our governments do that. And that is, I too believe that capital punishment is a human rights abuse.
Nothing prepares an individual to have a family member murdered. That does nothing to honor my father's life. That does nothing to bring back my father. All a killing does is create another grieving family. And as someone who knows the pain of murdering, that comes from murder, I don't want to see that anyone else have to experience it. That's not how we heal in the aftermath of murder.
When I was in my car that very evening driving home, I heard a voice, and the voice said, "You must forgive him, and you must let him know." I still get shivers when I remember thinking about mailing that letter, because I put it in a little mailbox, and I could hear that letter hit the bottom of the box. And when that letter hit the bottom of that box, all the anger, all the rage, all the ugliness I carried in my body for 12 long years was instantly gone. And in its place, I was filled with feelings of joy and love and inner peace. And I knew in that moment I didn't need to have another human being murdered so that I could be healed. The simple act of offering forgiveness gave me the healing that I'd been waiting for.
Every one of us in our own way, and we all have different ways, there's not just one way, we make something good come out of the terrible thing that is a murder. And if you can make something good come out of something bad, then you will feel better yourself and society will benefit.
Forgiveness is not something that you give away. It's not something you give to someone else. It's a gift you give to yourself. When I forgave Douglas, it was a gift I gave myself, but it was also a gift I gave to my children.
Hate the crime, be angry with the violence, but never hate a person. In our society, this Asian countries does not allow any other thinking other than eye for eye, revenge. I hope today's event that will initiate that so that we can think, oh, there's other way of doing this. That's just like every people in this room, everybody's different. So as the crime is different, and then what you may think will be different. And then for over the period of the time, you may change your opinion too. killing another human being will not bring any peace or healing. Especially watching somebody else's cry, that makes feel better to the victim's family.
That healing is a process, it's not an event, and it goes on forever. And you should not hold out a false promise of having an execution bring some kind of peace, because it does not happen.
I walked out of that prison that day after one visit, and I knew I would be a political and social advocate, not just for the man that murdered Catherine, but for all the men and women all over this earth who are on death rows. And that's what brings me here today. Because I don't believe in murder. And murder is still murder, whether it happens in a home, in the streets, or in a prison. It is the ultimate violation of human rights.
这条线是串起我们的希望，连结我们的关系。以我们之名，以你之名，以我们每一个人之名，我们要努力关照，不管是被害者或者是加害者的遗族。除了这两者之外，当然还有全社会。然后我们要努力的开启对话，修复社会上支持死刑和反对死刑两方紧张的关系。而以被害者之名，我们会持续努力，因为我们真的不是站在被害者对立的那一方。当然，我们也希望终于有一天能够终结死刑这个残酷而不人道的一个刑罚。这是我们的连结，这是我们的承诺，这是我们应该要做的事情。在废除死刑这个议题上面，我们也会更努力，虽然有很多的困难。所以谢谢大家今天的参与，谢谢，谢谢。